Welcome back to Half A Hot Rods. If you're new here, this is my 57 Chevy pickup that we're putting on a 97 Chevy chassis. I'm doing this without any training or experience or actual knowledge of what should be done, just what I picked up on the internet and YouTube. So last week, the last time you saw me, which was 2 weeks ago, we worked on the seat. Got that bench seat put in there. And before that, we did some paint work on the engine bay and the chassis and trying to make the 97 firewall and the 57 firewall look like they belong together. So this week, there's still a lot of wiring to finish up, finish mounting the radiator, computer, all the ABS stuff. But we know we have a bad rear end. That may or may not have had something to do with some shenanigans we were involved in earlier in the build process. But before we can decide what rear end to put in it, exactly how to do it, get all that prep work done, we need to figure out what we're doing for a bed. So we have several different options. We have short bed, long bed, service bed, flat bed, plate the frame. So we're going to play around with some cardboard today.
I got good news. We're extending arts and crafts time by 4 hours today.
And see what each of those kind of look like as much as we can, and then try and make a decision. And you can help make the decision by commenting on this video and letting me know what you think. So first thing we got to do is get the truck out of the back of the shop, out here where we can actually get around it all the way and do some work on it. So let's do that. Okay, so first look at skirted flatbed. All the way low as we can go on the bottom for the skirts. And I would probably cut the frame. You can see this is the leaf spring mount for the rear. Probably cut it right behind that just to shorten that up just a little bit. So this is the total length of the bed, and it'll be flat across the back. And we would try to not have a hump there. It would be flat. Or it might have a box on it where the battery sits, because remember we built that battery box in a previous video. So that's about where that would sit. Now, something to consider, idea we're playing with, is dually. So let's look at that. So it looks something like that. Now, of course, I don't mind the exposed tires, but that's kind of a farm truck thing. Let me try something else. What if we added full fenders? Full fenders. Like that. We could even something like that. How would that be? Yeah, that would be kind of neat. Oh yeah, that's cut really crooked, but you get the idea, right? Alright, so skirted flatbed, big fenders. I mean, we might could even widen the stock factory fenders to achieve that look. Now let's take our fender off, and let's see if I can mark where the bottom of the spring would be. It should be about there. There. Now let's flip our sides up, trim that. Perfectly straight. Again, perfectly straight. You don't need to see it, just trust me. And then, let's see how that looks. So we would be boxing it kind of like a semi-frame. You've ever seen those stretch semi-frames where they box it in? And we could even put the fender back on with that. Well, that's great. Just stay on there. I don't care if the cardboard's dirty. Tape should stick. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results? It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. This was kind of my original idea. And then one of the next ideas I had was a service bed or a utility box bed, right? If you don't know what that is, it's the trucks you see that come out to fix your electric or your cable or whatever. Cable. Nobody has cable anymore. Anyway, they got big square boxes on the side like this, another one over here, and then out on the side here there's a bunch of doors that you can open up. And you keep tools and stuff in there. I could use it for rescuing other cars. I could also hide air tanks, air compressor, battery, all that stuff in those boxes and still have the middle of the bed open for stuff, really important treasures like, junk. My wife says junk. Look at, how can you say that's junk? That stuff is cool. Volkswagen pedal car, an old ratty wagon, a custom hot rod wagon. I mean, how could she call that junk? It escapes me. It defies logic, as wives often do. Anyway, moving on. Service bed would be pretty darn cool. They are usually very expensive. I have located a couple on Marketplace that are almost in reach if I could talk them down a little bit. So that's a possibility. And then the other choices actually involve the stock bed, which is outside. Let's go look at it. So the stock bed's out here. Just been sitting on block since we got it. It is really rough, just like the rest of the truck. Lots of rust, lots of rust. Had some Bondo work done to cover the rust. Some more rust. But it's the right color and the right amount of wear to match the rest of the truck. So if it could be made to fit, still certainly has its value. So, see more rust on this side, the steps, fenders hooeyed in the middle there. I mean, she's rough. And of course there's no wood in the bed. I mean, you assume at this age there's not going to be any wood. As they get older, you don't get the wood anymore.
That's what she said.
So, moving on, let's get this truck turned around, get the cardboard off it, and then we can hopefully get Wyatt will be here, and we'll get his help to do a couple test fits with the stock bed. I might have to get the forklift out for that. You didn't know I had a forklift. Oh, well, stand by. I've got a forklift with an 8.1 liter big block Chevrolet, because how else would you do it? How else would you do it? So you guys stand by. We're going to get this flatbed removed, which I can do by myself because I'm super strong. And then we'll get the truck flipped around and come back to you. Well, if we've got to turn this truck around, I mean, I know it runs and drives, but some of you haven't seen it. So I guess we may as well fire it up and drive it out. And if we're going to drive it out, we may as well take it up to the house and wash it. So here we go. Let's see what happens. See if she'll still run. which is an abrasive cleanser for this step, but we're out of it. I didn't realize it until now, so I guess we'll just use car wash soap. And we're going to use a red Scotch-Brite pad. Well, there's what she looks like all cleaned up. Probably the first of multiple stages of doing that type of treatment. Let's show you what she would look like with some clear coat. And there's what she would look like with some Poppy's patina, a little bit of that patina sauce on there. Wipe on clear coat, which is kind of the way I'm leaning with this truck. Tell me that doesn't look cool. I mean, I think that's really cool, and it's not just because I don't have the budget for all the patch panels and a fancy paint job. It's also because I just think it looks cool. It took that 58 years now to get that way from sitting in the field. More than that if you count since new. Yeah, that's cool. I did discover one thing though. I think maybe we might need some door seals or a heater for our pond, because that's moist. This side's worse because of the way it's sitting. Yeah, I guess we know my my new rocker running board thing is good because it's holding water, but so is the floor. So that's not ideal, because I was even kind of careful about not getting water in there. So let's get this bad boy turned around back in the shop, and then when Wyatt gets home we can work on getting the bed on it and doing some test fitting with the actual stock bed. ¿Qué pasa? Heifer. Hi, Buford. That's Buford, because he's smoky. You know what I'm saying?
This is Sheriff Buford, the Justice of Texas.
Everything was going fine. I don't really know what happened there, but now she don't want to run. Acts like it's out of gas, so I guess we'll check that first. Unfortunately, I don't have a gas gauge functioning yet, so I guess we'll just pour a couple gallons in there. Check the simple stuff first, right, Jeff? I hope I got a couple gallons around here. Stand by. Alright, so Wyatt and I just got the other truck and pushed it inside, and then I decided I didn't really want to mess with the drivability today. I wanted to keep doing what I was doing. So, we got the forklift out, and we're about to back it up to the bed here. I already cleared all the old body parts out of it. So there's the bed. There's the 8.1 liter 496 cubic inch forklift.
You can't drive a forklift. Oh, I can drive any forking thing around.
And let's see what we can do. Good thing it's not snake season.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure there's none that are hiding under these tires or any amount of these parts that are pissed off for waking them up.
Yeah.
I designed it like that.
Yeah, that's the way it was meant to be used. Whoa! That's the spot. Alright, back me into the shop.
I'll be a son of a gun. Better back, you got better legs. Put us together and we got half of a half decent person.
We almost make a whole person.
Letting it down, or?
I guess. I wonder, can we bring it back more? Will that left front or right front come around on the truck more?
You'll have to turn it back to the right just a little bit so you don't have to catch your hinge or your latch. I mean, because you got 2.5 inches before you smack this door. So. Right there. Can I crank it left again?
long bed trucks. There's a lot of
La troca!
stuff sticking out.
What?
Alright, let that hog down. That's the wrong way. Ooh.
We're gonna hit everything.
Yeah. Let it down a little more. Let's see what happens.
I think if this side comes forward, we're gonna set that down.
Yeah. Bring it down a little more. Ah!
Self-clear. Okay. For Lucy Goosey, Fred. What if put like a diesel tank right here, like a trenching tank?
Yeah, I thought about that, but I'd rather have it just look like bed.
Yeah. It's okay. Just shoot down all my creative ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the goal.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that really.
You might want to like get it somewhere where it's gonna settle. Every time I touch it, it moves.
I wonder if we should just put some blocks under it where it's at, just to hold it up high, and then figure out where we want to set it. Probably could have cut them body mounts out.
What's it even? Is it catching this on the butt? Yeah.
Yeah, it's catching on the body mount with the rain bar over there. I mean, it looks like it could go your way and help clear that actually.
Try
But I don't want it to fall on the top of the fuel tank.
That's
the
true.
problem.
Maybe we,
So let's,
like I said, we can block it up, and then we can get the truck out of here too.
Yeah.
You know what I just realized?
What?
To make that turn out of the shop, do you think the forks are just gonna smack those with blocks?
That could be a problem.
That's the smell of failure.
Yeah, we may have just trapped ourselves.
Oh no!
60% of the time, it works every time.
Look at that! Almost like we know what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Well, at least one of us does.
That's how you move a truck bed when you got one gimp and one old man with a bad back.
You could have upplayed yourself there. You should have said one gimp and one gimp.
Oh, we can retake that. I'll edit it. That's how you move a truck bed when you got one gimp and one pimp. All right, I got both of those supports out. Surprisingly, these bolts came out, just backed out. These carriage bolts, I was having trouble figuring out the right size socket, so I just cut the nuts off. I'm gonna take the fuel filler neck off. I'm gonna take the fuel filler neck off here, and then that should let more of this slide down, and then we'll see. Then we'll see what else is going to hit. Let's see what happens. Oh, and I've got it more or less suspended from the cherry picker now to help steady things. So here we go. Okay, so we got this kind of set where it would be as a long bed. So we would cut it somewhere in here this way, leave the fenders where they are, unbolt them, leave the fenders where they are, cut this, slide it forward, and then add a chunk of sheet metal in there, and of course the top rail, and it would come up and meet the cab. So the spare tire would be sitting back there. Should be a little funky, but I don't know, not the end of the world. The whole thing would come up. More than likely we'd do dually, so we'd extend these fenders out, widen them out, and then we bring the fenders out, lengthen this part. We would have to cut out, all these cross pieces would have to come out, and we'd have to raise the floor to get it to sink down to where it needs to be, because I'm pretty sure this running board is supposed to be like there. So we're still a few inches away from there. And I think it's doable. My question is it worth it to use this bed? I mean, yeah, it's the bed that came with the truck, but it is in tough shape. And would I like that better than a service bed or a flatbed? I don't know. So there's how she would look as a long bed. You just have to kind of imagine the bed goes the whole way. I mean, I'm not a fan of these in a long bed with single rear wheels, but I think with dualies on it, it would be pretty tough. Let's roll one up there. And we widened the fender to cover it. And how cool does it look? Pretty cool. I think so. I don't know. Another choice is, like I said, the big toolbox service bed. And the other choice would be, another choice on top of that would be to shorten it and move this bed forward and use this bed in its short bed configuration. So let's, I've got to rearrange some things in order to do that. I got to pull the wheels off it. So let me get it jacked up, get the wheels off, and we'll slide the bed forward and see what that looks like. All right, we almost got her in short bed position. I don't have the reach to get all the way up and pick it up evenly, so this is kind of what I'm stuck with. It isn't ideal, but it's also not, I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever done. So let's see if we can set it down gently. That was more gentle than usual. I think we got a couple more over there. Oh, that's almost, I mean, it's rubbing the cab now. So that's probably too far. And again, the back of the bed is questionable height. But that's pretty darn close. Let's set her all the way down. Because if it's dangling in the air, I can push it around, but it won't stay. Hopefully we're not crushing anything that doesn't need crushed. Yeah, that's not going to slide back. I'll show you why here in a second. But reasonably centered. Yeah. Wheel would be somewhere in that neighborhood. And then of course we make her a dually, which I would still probably want to do. I really want to make this a dually. Put it somewhere in that area. And that ride height isn't right because it's up on jack stands, it's too high, but we can adjust ride height. And we could leave it a single wheel short bed. The thing is, there's lots of single wheel short bed 57s. Lots of half tons slammed on the ground.
So what are we gonna do?
I don't know. Honestly, as bad as this fits, trying to make it a long bed, the service bed's looking better all the time. Because the running boards are going to be in the way. You got to stretch the bed. I don't like the short bed. I want a long bed. I don't know. You guys help me decide. Comment below. Tell me what you think. Short bed dually, long bed dually, flat bed, plate the frame, service truck bed, which I'll have to add some pictures of.
Service bed dually.
Service bed dually. I mean, add dually to any option I've given if I didn't add it in myself. I'm not sure. Obviously this is way too high because the jack stands. Let me see if I can bring it down a little, make it look better.
$10 quart of oil.
Yeah, that change in altitude sure changes the attitude. Holy cow. Yeah, come look at it on this side with the tire stuffed in it.
I don't know, I still feel like it looks better long bed.
Yeah. And then
That thing would be mean and wide. See, personally, I've never liked the look of short bed dualies. I think they look goofy.
so if I do short bed, then I have to cut the frame, I have to get the drive shaft shortened, I have to weld it back together. If I do long bed, then I have to stretch the bed, or flat bed, or utility, or do a flat bed or a utility bed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is here. IDK.
The way I think the short bed would look good, single wheel, you put the same wheel that you have on the front because it'll just look like an old farm truck.
Yeah,
But in a way, it'll be a sleeper.
yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be a race truck, but it's going to get up and go a hell of a lot better than that straight six did.
Yeah.
And people are going to be mesmerized when they see it towing a gooseneck with God knows how much junk on it.
Yeah.
Or with mini bike, with a matching mini bike in the bed. Who knows?
Mini bikes in the bed, or an old ape hanger Harley in there.
Or a ape hanger mini bike.
Or yeah, I'm down.
That's a little more in your price range, buddy.
Probably, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Price was a limitation. I have found a parts bed of the right era and a service bed that are both in my price range. Assuming that either one would fit. The parts bed would help me widen the fenders, make these dually fenders, and help extend it and still maintain the right top rail. The service bed would just be a service bed, and if the wheels stuck out too far, then we put these fenders on it.
Ooh. Ooh! Get a regular single wheel service bed and mock up these fenders to run dualies.
Yeah.
That would be slick.
But they're usually wider anyway, so I don't know, that might make the fenders way too wide.
Well, but then again, if you think about it, even if you just need an extra couple inches to cover tire, you chop this fender in a straight line.
And narrow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how slick that would look using those to make the service bed wider?
But also, eventually I'd like to have big wheels, big tires on it. Like
25.
No. Like 19.5s or 22.5s, something like that. Some semi wheels.
25 seats.
Semi wheels, as the kids say.
Semis.
My battery box does fit nicely in there.
Oh.
Yeah. It would punch right up through the bed, like I said. I don't know if y'all want to see it. Let me give you a little peek, a little sneaky peeky. So yeah, if we go short, you see I got to move the springs forward, and with the shape of the frame, we would have to cut it probably under the cab where I've already more or less finished everything. You can see where my battery box is over yonder way.
Who wants a short bed?
I mean, real trucks have long beds. Yeah, now that I got that back end down to a reasonable level, the front needs to go down. You see the wheel gap there? It really needs to a little bit.
See, that's what I'm saying. Lower just enough to where it tucks those tires would look so good.
I think the stance on Maverick's truck is real close to perfect. Yours
But then
is,
again, if you put 19.5s on it,
it would be right there.
damn near tuck them already.
Yeah.
I like the stance on my truck. I'd still like to go lower.
Yeah, I think yours could go a little lower.
What I want to do, though, instead of going lower, get some 20-inch rallies. I don't have the money for those, though, because I'd have to get them custom made.
Oh, you can buy them now. But
I still don't have the money
They're-
for them because they're custom-made wheels.
they're muy expensivo.
And nothing about that truck screams muy expensivo.
So yeah, I don't know if we've helped the decision-making process here, or if we've made it just as much of a challenge or more of a challenge. So yeah, if you guys would help me with this, I'd appreciate it. Give me your thoughts on it, pros, cons, the amount of fab work. Obviously, I think we can figure it out. We can figure stuff out as we need to, but do we want to make this just crazy, way over the top, cut everything up and weld it back together deal? Not necessarily. Simple is my friend. Right, Simple? Okay. Yeah. So there it is. Probably give it. Let's give it a little rake. I didn't mean to drop it that low. A little more rake. And I don't think that bed's sitting as low as it's supposed to. I'll have to look at some pictures online. That's the other thing about this bed is it's got to go lower everywhere, and the leaf springs and leaf spring hangers are going to be in the way. So that's an additional challenge that we face. Yeah, I think the front of that's supposed to be down in that, even with that inset spot thing, the little whoop-de-doo. Well, anyway, if you like what we're doing, check out the other videos, see how we got it this far. Again, no real training on this stuff. We're just figuring it out as we go. We're doing it on little to no budget and without all the right tools. As always, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next week. Remember, if I can do it, you can do it.